Most men live quietly beneath the weight of their own doubt. They bow before opinions. They shrink before disapproval. They silence their truth to keep peace that was never real. They call it politeness. They call it patience. But deep down, they know. What they call virtue is just fear with better PR. You see, the man who fears judgment bends his spine for praise. He looks for permission in every glance. He apologizes for ambition, softens his words, and trims his fire to fit inside someone else's comfort. And then he wonders why no one follows him, why no one listens when he speaks, why he is overlooked, overused, and underestimated. The answer is simple. He let fear write his script. This world does not honor softness unless it's backed by steel. It does not protect purity. It does not shelter the gentle. It does not hand the throne to the cautious. It kneels only before the man who cannot be moved. To walk this earth without fear is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is clarity. It is the only path to sovereignty. The fearless man does not need to announce his power. He walks into the room and the air changes, not because he demands attention, but because he doesn't need it. He speaks with calm intent. He moves without flinching. He dares to want without apology. Fear makes men delay. Fear makes men beg. Fear makes men explain themselves to those who don't even understand their mission. But the man who does not fear, he moves first. He speaks when it matters. He claims what the timid only fantasize about. The world calls him dangerous. But what they really mean is, he reminds them of how little control they have over him. This is not cruelty. This is not chaos. This is control. Control over your instincts. Control over your presence. Control over your path. Because fear left unchecked is a disease. It spreads quietly. It eats your voice. It turns potential into regret. It does not scream. It whispers, "Not now. Be careful. Maybe later." And before you know it, a decade is gone. And you have nothing but safety to show for it. Here's the truth. No one wants to say, fear is the religion of the mediocre. They bow to it. They pray to it. They use it as a reason to stay small. And when they see someone who won't kneel, they call him selfish. They call him toxic, because his courage reminds them of their own chains. But understand this. To walk without fear does not mean you do not feel it. It means you do not obey it. Fear can ride with you, but it never gets to touch the wheel. Let it sharpen your instincts, but never your choices. You can be cautious without being cowardly. You can be kind without being conquered. The man who walks unshaken owns every room he enters, not with noise, but with weight. He does not explain himself. He does not argue with those who refuse to understand. He does not water down his mission to make others comfortable. Most crumble under pressure because they have trained themselves to value approval more than outcomes. They want to be liked, not respected, not remembered, just liked. And that is the slowest death a man can suffer. If you want to rise, you must unlearn the addiction to being understood. Stop fearing confrontation. The world does not belong to those who whisper. Stop fearing rejection. Every, is just a cleared path for a more aligned yes. Stop fearing failure. The man who fails boldly builds a future. The man who avoids risk builds a prison. Stop fearing solitude. The strongest lions walk alone first. And most importantly, stop fearing being disliked. You were not born to be agreeable. You were born to be aligned. Let others mistake your silence for weakness. Let them assume you are tame, and then watch as their expectations collapse beneath the weight of your presence. Because real presence cannot be faked. It cannot be bought. It is built in silence, through fire. The man who is feared is not loud. He is not cruel. He is clear. He does not chase. He does not beg. He does not correct false impressions. He lets others talk while he watches, while he plans. His silence is not emptiness. It is pressure. It is control. Silence forces the world to reveal itself. It forces others to fill in your blanks with their own insecurities. That is power. Most men talk too much because they're terrified of being forgotten. They announce every move. They narrate every thought. They confuse noise with influence. But the man who fears no one, he speaks less and gains more. He doesn't explain his worth. He makes it felt. Power lives in mystery, in restraint, in the refusal to perform for attention. Let others leak every secret. Let others rush to speak. You will win by listening, by storing energy, by moving with precision. Because while they entertain the world, you prepare to own it. Now understand this. Hesitation is not wisdom. It is fear wearing a mask. The man who hesitates dies slowly, not with a bang, but with a lifetime of almost. You do not need more time. You need more courage. You do not need to be ready. You need to move. The world is taken by those who do, not those who wait for the perfect moment. No decision will ever feel certain, but every decision delayed gives your power to someone else. You wait long enough, and they choose your path for you. They pick your role. They write your story. Speed is not recklessness. Speed is authority. Speed is trust in yourself. Move, then adjust. Act, then refine. You become confident after you begin, not before. The man who fears no one is not fearless. He is simply unmoved by fear. He trusts himself, not because he knows everything, but because he knows he can handle anything. And in that trust, he becomes a force, untouchable, unbreakable. Respect cannot be begged. It cannot be faked. It cannot be gifted. It must be taken, held, defended. To command respect, you must become a man who needs nothing from others. No applause, no likes, no safety net, just mission, just movement, just presence. Respect is built with standards, with silence, with boundaries you don't explain. You just enforce. You train the world how to treat you by what you tolerate. You do not correct disrespect. You walk away. You do not explain your value. You become so undeniable that words are irrelevant. The man who fears no one does not chase power. He becomes it. So, what now? Now you choose. Will you keep dimming to make others comfortable? Or will you let your fire finally burn? Will you wait for approval? Or will you build without it? Will you explain yourself into exhaustion? Or will you let your silence speak the truth? The world will not hand you your crown. It will watch to see if you're willing to take it. And those who are willing, they rise. Not because they were chosen, but because they refuse to kneel. The weight of words. Words carry weight. They can build empires or destroy them. Yet many squander their words, speaking without thought, reacting without reflection. The man who understands the power of his words chooses them carefully. He knows that silence can be more powerful than speech, and that a well-timed word can shift the tides. Reddit +10 Aaron Lynn, +10 Ridley College +10. In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, the one who speaks with intention stands out. He doesn't speak to fill the void, he speaks to create impact. His words are not mere sounds, but instruments of influence. The art of listening. Listening is an underrated skill. While others are busy formulating their responses, the man who listens gains insight. He observes, understands, and then acts. By truly listening, he gathers information others miss. allowing him to navigate situations with precision. Listening is not passive, it's active engagement. It's the foundation of empathy, understanding, and effective communication. The man who listens well speaks with authority because his words are informed by understanding. Scrib. The strength in restraint. Restraint is a form of strength. In moments of anger, the ability to hold back, to choose a measured response, demonstrates control. The man who can restrain himself commands respect, for he is not ruled by emotion but guided by principle. Restraint allows for thoughtful action. It prevents rash decisions and preserves relationships. It's the difference between reacting and responding. The man who masters restraint is a master of himself. The power of presence. Presence is more than being physically present. It's about the energy one brings into a space. The man with true presence doesn't need to announce himself. His aura speaks volumes. He carries himself with confidence, purpose, and authenticity. Presence commands attention. It's the silent force that makes others take notice. Developing presence involves self-awareness, confidence, and the alignment of one's actions with their values. Scrib. The discipline of consistency. Consistency builds trust. When a man's actions align with his words over time, he becomes reliable. Consistency in behavior, values, and performance establishes a solid reputation. It's not about perfection, but about reliability. The consistent man is predictable in his principles, making others feel secure in their interactions with him. This trust becomes a foundation for influence and leadership. The courage to stand alone. Standing alone requires courage. It's easy to follow the crowd, to seek validation in numbers. But the man who stands by his convictions, even when isolated, demonstrates true strength. This solitude is not loneliness, but a testament to integrity. It's the willingness to uphold one's beliefs, despite opposition. Such a man becomes a beacon for others, inspiring respect and admiration. The value of time. Time is the most precious resource. Once spent, it cannot be reclaimed. The man who values his time treats it with respect, allocating it to pursuits that align with his goals and values. He avoids distractions, sets boundaries, and focuses on what truly matters. By mastering his time, he masters his life, ensuring that each moment contributes to his vision. The impact of choices. Every choice shapes destiny. The man who recognizes the power of his decisions takes responsibility for them. He doesn't blame circumstances but understands that his choices define his path. He weighs options carefully, considering long-term consequences. This deliberate decision-making process leads to a life of purpose and fulfillment. The essence of integrity. Integrity is the alignment of actions with values. The man of integrity doesn't compromise his principles for convenience or gain. He stands firm, even when it's difficult, because he values his character above all. This steadfastness earns him respect and trust. People know where he stands and can rely on him to act consistently with his values. The pursuit of excellence. Excellence is a habit, not an act. The man who pursues excellence strives to improve continually. He sets high standards for himself and works diligently to meet them. This pursuit is not about competition with others, but about becoming the best version of oneself. It's a commitment to growth, learning, and mastery. The influence of character. Character is the foundation of true influence. While charisma may attract, character retains. The man of strong character leads by example, inspiring others through his actions. He embodies the values he espouses, creating a legacy that extends beyond words. His influence is deep, lasting, and transformative. The necessity of adaptability. Adaptability is essential in a changing world. The man who can adjust his approach without compromising his principles remains effective amidst uncertainty. He sees change not as a threat but as an opportunity for growth. This flexibility allows him to navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and remain resilient. Adaptability, coupled with a strong core, ensures longevity and success. The role of vision. Vision provides direction. The man with a clear vision knows where he's headed and why. This clarity informs his decisions, fuels his motivation, and guides his actions. A compelling vision attracts others, creating a shared purpose. It becomes a rallying point, inspiring collective effort and commitment. The importance of self-awareness. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of personal growth. The man who understands his strengths, weaknesses, emotions, and motivations can navigate life with authenticity and effectiveness. This introspection leads to better decision-making, improved relationships, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Self-aware individuals are grounded, confident, and adaptable. The practice of gratitude. Gratitude shifts perspective. The man who practices gratitude recognizes the value in his experiences, both positive and negative. He appreciates growth opportunities and the contributions of others. This mindset fosters resilience, positivity, and strong relationships. Gratitude becomes a source of strength and contentment. The commitment to learning. Lifelong learning is a hallmark of the successful man. He seeks knowledge, embraces new experiences, and remains open to feedback. This commitment keeps him relevant, innovative, and effective. Learning fuels personal and professional development, enabling him to adapt and thrive in various contexts. The balance of confidence and humility. Confidence and humility are not opposites but complementary traits. The confident man believes in his abilities, while humility keeps him grounded. This balance allows for self-assuredness without arrogance. He acknowledges his achievements and recognizes the contributions of others. This equilibrium fosters respect and collaboration. The power of purpose. Purpose drives action. The man with a clear purpose channels his energy toward meaningful goals. This sense of direction provides motivation, resilience, and satisfaction. Purpose aligns efforts, informs decisions, and creates a fulfilling life. It's the compass that guides him through challenges and triumphs. The influence of environment. Environment shapes behavior. The man who curates his surroundings, people, spaces, and information sets himself up for success. He chooses environments that support his goals and values. By intentionally designing his environment, he creates conditions conducive to growth, focus, and well-being. The legacy of impact. Impact defines legacy. The man who lives intentionally, aligned with his values and purpose, leaves a lasting imprint. His influence extends beyond his lifetime, affecting individuals and communities. Legacy is not about fame, but about meaningful contributions. It's the culmination of a life lived with integrity, purpose, and impact.